There was this like pretty good looking girl.
Clarify.
Danea introduced me to pickleball. She can forever hold that over me.
I was looking for mixed doubles.
So
my first tournament. I never played a tournament.
So she was taking these like guys out. I was one of those guys. And I think I was the first one to beat you. You didn't speak to me for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was really
afterwards.
mad that you beat me.
Now we're married, so the biggest flex.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Pickleball Connection podcast. I'm Danea.
And I'm Barrett.
And we're stoked to be hanging out with you today. We're going to be doing a CTN episode, which is Cruise the News. So let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, so let's jump into it. You know, typically the way that we structure these shows is Danea and I get online and we kind of scour the forums and we're looking and searching for the juiciest pickleball topics, the latest news, or kind of just like
some goss,
yeah,
some
some drama in the comments, you know, and it gives us some good material to talk about on the pod. But, you know, today we were scanning the internet this morning, kind of prepping for the pod like we do. And I noticed something and I wanted to bring it up, but so there's a couple different Facebook pages for pickleball. They're
pretty popular too,
yeah.
Right? Like what would you say? There's like 3 main ones.
Yeah, you got like the kitchen, and you got Pickleball Forum,
mm-hmm.
And then you also have like the Dink, I guess.
Oh, and Pickleball Clinic. I'm kicked out of that too.
Danea keeps getting kicked out of all these groups because she's trying to point people to her YouTube page. I don't know.
I got banned from these like 3 years ago because I posted a YouTube video that I made. It was like a cool tutorial or something, and I was like, "Check out my YouTube video."
It's like the second video you ever made.
Literally, I have been banned from these for 3 years. So
I thought you're still in the kitchen, right?
I'm in the kitchen. Me and Jared are besties. Well, we're friends. I wouldn't say besties, but me and Jared get along really well.
Yeah.
But I'm kicked out of the other ones.
Well, we were scanning these Facebook groups, and then sometimes we go to Reddit or we go to, you know, articles online and just, you know, look at what's happening in the pickleball world. What are people talking about? And as we're scanning these Facebook groups today, we noticed that there were these AI bots that these Facebook groups have created. I guess it's part of like Facebook groups now, but there are these AI bots that post these banners and they ask random questions to try to start conversation with people. So we're going to talk a little bit. I want to ask one of them first that the AI bot brought up because I thought it was pretty interesting. But then maybe afterwards, I kind of want to pick your brain on what do you think AI is going to do in pickleball? Like,
yeah?
So
no, I'm interested. Yeah,
or how is AI going to affect pickleball or brands or any of that? But so basically, on the Pickleball Forums Facebook page, their little AI bot is.
What's the name of it?
His name is Pickle Pal, and he looks like a little wizard. Maybe we can figure out how to post a picture of him somewhere. But Pickle Pal has asked a lot of things. You know, I could read some of them, but I'll let you guys go check it out yourself on the page. But the one that I wanted to ask that I think it got like over 150 comments in the first couple days. And the Pickle Pal wants to know, how did you get hooked on pickleball? And I kind of want to look at him and say, how did you get hooked on pickleball?
Because he's not real.
Because he's not real.
Not real. Okay.
But tell us, Danea, via the Pickle Pal.
Okay.
How did you get hooked on pickleball?
So, funny story. My first time ever playing pickleball was actually in 6th grade gym class. We didn't play it right. Like, I didn't know any of the rules. It was just like we had these wooden paddles, a wiffle ball, and it was a freaking sick unit. And I dominated with my friend. Like, we had so much fun. Like I said, I don't even think we played it right, did it right, whatever.
Was it in the gym floor?
Yeah, gym floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I just remember it was a really fun unit. You guys, like units, and we had soccer, basketball. So pickleball was like a unit.
I don't think we called them units in the South. It was just like PE. And then there was like stuff that we did.
It was called PE, but we had units in PE. Like we had weightlifting.
We just had sports and stuff.
Mine had sports too.
I don't know, but they didn't. I guess they didn't call them units. Anyways, guys, let us know in the comments below. Did they call them units in your PE class? Sorry,
okay,
go ahead.
Whatever. So anyway, it was a unit or section in our gym class, whatever you want to call it, and it was fun. Totally forgot about it. Fast forward, I'm in college and I see a poster that says pickleball tournament. And I'm like, dude, I remember.
How many years had gone by? Like,
it was 6th grade to college.
Oh gosh, that's a long time.
Yeah,
it's a long time.
And so I was like, oh, I remember dominating this in gym class. Like, let me see a little competition that I think I can win, and I'm gonna do it. So I did it, and again, I don't think people played it right, but I freaking won it. And there was college. Like, it was singles. It was like literally like, I'm sure that I can't even remember. There's probably like 8 people in it.
Yeah, 6 registrants. Yeah, nobody knew how to
play. Nobody knew how to play. I don't know. It was just fun. But after that, I went to Dick's Sporting Goods and I grabbed 2 paddles.
Like a starter set?
Yeah, just like a starter set. And I just threw it in the trunk of my car because I had this like activity bin, I called it. And I threw all these like things in my car and I would just try to like sucker people to play games with me.
Well, hold on. Hey, quick side note, guys. Dick's Sporting Goods, the SLK Catalyst Bundle. Shameless plug. Selkirk makes a great Catalyst bundle that you can get from Dick's. They also have a Prime bundle that's a starter set you can get from Costco. So just so you know. Okay, so back to it. Sorry.
That was sick plug.
I didn't get paid to do that.
Anyway. So, but I really didn't like play often. It was like once every like 8 months I could sucker somebody into like playing with me. I didn't even know how to score. I didn't know any of that. So then fast forward maybe another.
So wait, hold on. You said you were trying to actively recruit people to go play with you.
I mean, yeah.
Once you got your paddles, you needed to find somebody.
Yeah, it was hard. Like I said, I maybe only played twice a year. This is what hooked me though. Ready? I was living out in Northern California at the time, and I saw that there were dedicated pickleball courts. I've never seen that in my life. Like I'd always seen.
So you had only seen the taped lines on tennis courts because back then there weren't as many dedicated courts.
No. But
seeing that, you were like, oh, this sport's legit.
Dude, seeing that, I was like, my mouth was like, what? Dropped to the floor. And I heard that there was like mufflings, that there's a group that played there every night. And I was like, oh, I'm going to like go check this out. So I went and I showed up. I was by far the youngest person there. It was probably 55 plus the whole time.
Yeah, because this is like 2018.
This is probably summer of 2018
or 17. I'm
2019.
Saying anything below, before 2020 was like, you're probably one of the younger players because
summer of 2019 is what it was. And I showed up, youngest person there. I played this precious grandpa, and he just whooped my butt, like just played me like a puppet out there. And I could not fathom that I was getting beaten so badly by this wonderful geriatric man. Like, and he was so nice, so kind, but it just lit a fire under me. Like, I'm a college athlete. I'm super in shape. How am I losing? And I that's the moment where it was like, I got hooked. Like,
it was the competitive drive in you. You're like, I'm not losing to Rick again.
And honestly, the other side of it was so fun and social. And something that you guys maybe don't know about me, you know this about me. I love old people. Like I love chatting it up with old people. They're like my favorite to like hang out with. And so having this community of older people that I genuinely like probably would never have crossed paths with, like they became really, really good friends of mine. And it was actually probably in a time of life where I really needed some good friends too. And so it wasn't just the competitiveness, it also was the social side of pickleball that really drew me in to where I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever found on this earth. Like it was so cool.
Wow. I love it.
But you should, what hooked you?
There was this like pretty good looking girl.
Clarify. Who?
Guys, Danae introduced me to pickleball. She can forever hold that over me.
And I do.
The biggest flex.
It is anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, so basically.
But when were you like, okay, this is like a really, really cool sport?
Yeah, well, I'd heard about it, but then you were like, when I first met you, we were texting back and forth, and you legitimately like were getting hooked, and I think you were looking for a mixed doubles partner.
I was looking for a mixed doubles.
So
my first tournament. I never played a tournament.
So she I think had been taking guys out. I didn't know this till later.
This sounds so.
But you were looking for a mixed doubles partner.
I was.
She was taking these like guys out to a local middle school tennis court and trying to play them in singles. And she was trying to find somebody that could hang with her so that they could sign up for like their first 3-0 or 3-5 tournament or something, right?
Yeah.
And so I was one of those guys. And I think I was the first one to beat you.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed.
I think I beat you 11-9. I hadn't played before. I was just sweating. It was like sheer athleticism. I had no idea what I was doing. You didn't speak to me for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was
afterwards.
really mad that you beat me.
But I think it sparked. Obviously, now we're married, so I'm glad I beat you.
It worked. And we ended up signing up for a tournament.
Yeah, after you played a tournament with another guy. It's okay. It's okay though.
And we're like lowering all our journey.
We're not going to get into it, but shortly after this, the pickleball community was actually confused about if Danae was like with me or another guy that she played this other tournament with. Like I had this old woman, Penny. She was like, "Is Danae with you or this other guy?" But hey,
we're talking about this.
But hey, we're married. We're married. Okay, sorry. I came in on top. Okay, so I got hooked. Probably, honestly, when we started. Like I remember after we,
because we had only played singles,
right? So you took me out to Shasta Lake Park.
Yep.
And
dedicated courts.
I learned doubles, and I think it was a very similar experience. Got very humbled, but it was very fun. I really liked doubles. And I was just like obsessed, like, why can't I hit a drop shot?
No, we didn't even know that
drop
shots were a thing.
Well, no, I think once we started, that's when I got hooked. When we started learning the strategy, learning the type of shots you could hit.
We looked up YouTube videos, the Badger.
I ordered my first, we actually both ordered paddles off Amazon.
Yeah. I played with the Z5. It's a terrible paddle.
Yeah, it's like $89 on Amazon. It might be less than that now, but it sucks people in because it's like sub $100 and it has tons of reviews. But that's just because it was one of the first paddles.
I wish I would have gotten to Selkirk, honestly, but it's fine.
Yeah, that would have been like what OG amped.
Yeah, the amped.
Anyways, sorry. So yeah, I think we started playing and I was like, this is a blast, and got hooked. Started thinking about. I remember you and I were like, had a goal. We didn't know how big pickleball was going to get, but we were talking like, we should go to the world championships in Naples and train.
Oh my gosh, yes, because I heard that like the world championship pickleball thing was in Naples.
Yeah. So we were like texting back and forth. We were like, Naples 2020, let's train. That's what got me hooked. And honestly, I was like having a lot of fun with you, so that helped.
That's
all right.
Funny.
So I think this is a great case study, but an AI bot spurred on this great conversation that we're having right now.
Wait, before that, I'm curious. I want to know how you guys got hooked or what hooked them.
The listeners.
Yeah.
So guys, however you're consuming this podcast, let us know in the comments. Like, what is it that did it for
What was the moment where you were like, I just found the best thing on earth,
Hey, have you heard of the new Play More app?
No, what is it?
Basically, the Play More app is like a stress-free scheduling app for pickleballers. So I don't know, we've struggled a lot in group text trying to organize play. You'll set it up and somebody will just like the text. And I'm like, does that actually mean you're coming or not?
Yeah, and it's like, you never know how many people you have, like what rating they are. It's kind of annoying.
It can kind of just be a nightmare to try to organize groups because group texts are just not fun. So basically the Play More app lets you send out invitations. You get an RSVP list. If somebody doesn't show, there's a wait list that will actually like put somebody right into.
No way.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Dang, that's awesome. What's it called?
It's called the Play More app. So you should download it at the App Store, or you can go to getplaymore.com if you want to look at it online. So back to kind of what we were saying, there's AI bots out there influencing the pickleball forums. And I'm curious, how do you think AI is going to disrupt the pickleball industry, whether it be in the business world or the game itself evolving as a whole?
Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. Obviously there's some things, AI is just such an unknown world, obviously, because we don't have like history to be able to see how it's played out in the past. Like it's new. So there's some things that I'm like, okay, it's really cool. For example, we've had this horrendous time without balls, especially in the professional level where there's money on the line for these pros. And I know that the PPA, UPA has this technology now on just the championship court, which I'm like, okay. But still, on the championship court where they can see where the ball lands and they can determine, better out calls.
Yep.
So I think things like that, I'm like, okay, that's a really amazing use of AI that I think is going to help the sport.
Yeah, and you also, similar to that, you see a lot of these indoor facilities now.
Yeah.
That are, they have these AI cameras that are like let's say you reserve court 3. At court 3, there's like a station where you can record your match and you can get like analysis from your play.
Or if you have a good point, you can like push a button and it'll save that and email it to you.
Yeah, which I don't know how much of that is AI. I think a lot of things are just like technological advancements, and they slap AI on it because it's like a buzz word and it sells.
You're right. I don't think that's
so.
AI.
But it might be. I mean, there might be some automation like incorporated in there. I think a lot of businesses now they put like .ai at the end. And I'm like, it's not AI, it's just like an algorithm, like people just like use AI to sell things. But I do think, with video technology, I think there's a lot of room for AI to analyze video.
And similarly, like I think that we could get to a space where,
a space or a place. We could get either
place where AI could really help in the coaching realm. Like where you could maybe, like, let's say there was something where you could record your match and it could say, oh, the reason why you missed that drive is because your elbow was too far in, or I don't know, just like.
Yeah. And obviously we know that it's going to really affect businesses and supply chain and a lot of other things. So it'd be very interesting to see, like, what does it do to paddle prices? What does it do, like as businesses evolve and adapt, there are businesses that use AI and there are businesses that don't. And the businesses that use AI are probably going to come out on top. So
yeah, but I do think that there are some things to be wary about. Like, obviously, we have this AI bot that we got this question from. It's a good question.
But the job of that bot is literally just to freaking
create engagement
on their page, right? So
right. Which I'm like, okay, that's not a bad thing, but there is something to me that I'm like, okay, for example, for me personally, I want to use AI in ways that don't replace like contact with humans.
Sure.
Does that make sense? Like, I forever want to keep the relational aspect of the face, like the communication. Like, I guess I'm thinking in regards to even like my platform or my audience. Like, I want them to know they're talking to me, Danea.
Not some like pickleball
Not
AI influencer.
Pickle pal, pickle bot.
Right.
Pickle, you know, I think things get a little blurry for me in that regard of like the reason why, again, I fell in love with pickleball is because I love the game, but I love the people. And I never want to sacrifice relationship for the sake of AI.
Right.
So it dances the line for me
Well,
a little bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, like, I've seen you in your own personal business brand platform, all things pickleball. I've seen you incorporating a lot more AI into your workflow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure it can just help you.
It helps a ton with
a lot.
Like busy work. If you can utilize it to like, you know, take busy work out, I think it's great. But like, again, I just feel I get really nervous when I see it replacing relational connection.
Danea didn't ask me to say this, but guys, she really is like crushing it right now in this space. So if you are a brand out there,
oh my god,
no, I'm serious. Like Danea has figured out a lot of ways to automate social media, like you and leverage, you know, busy work, creating email lists, workflows, like all this stuff, funnels, all of it with AI. So yeah, hit her up. DM her if you need help.
But all that to say, AI it's happening and it's here, and it's interesting because it will impact every industry, whether it's pickleball on the player side, on the game side, on the business side. And so it's interesting to think about, and now even starting to see more and more some of these AI things pop up.
I just like.
What do you think about it?
No, yeah, I think everything that you just said. I think I shared a little bit about what I think. You know, in terms of it affecting video and analysis and stuff like that. But I was just like thinking, I don't think it's AI, but I'm like, I think we're about to start seeing a lot more like technology like within the paddles themselves, where like they have chips and different things that you can scan on your phone to interact with and see. Maybe it's a little further down the road, but you know, I'm wondering like, will technology like this ever influence the equipment? You know,
oh, I'm sure it will.
Like, in what ways? I mean, I'm sure.
I mean, what if you could kind of hook something up to your paddle and then it helps coach you, looks at your swing path? I don't know. You know, like,
or something like that, or maybe it even can kind of like scan
your paddle,
and like there's dead spots here, or you know, it's interesting. You know, or make suggestions to you like based off your game. I don't know.
Imagine it makes suggestions to you. Yeah. Can you not hit that in the net?
Like shh. Gary or whatever your AI's name is. Okay. Or Pickle Pal, you know.
Pickle Pal.
All right, you know, we're gonna move to the next one because we spent a little more time on that one than I thought, but that was fun. This next one is kind of similar to, I guess, what we were just talking about. But saw a forum post, and basically somebody was asking, do good paddles make a difference? And then he said, in parentheses, $150 and above. So I think this guy's wondering, like,
do extensive paddles make a difference?
Right. I think this guy's wondering, you know, does it really make a difference if I buy a $120 paddle versus buying a $200 paddle? Like, once you cross over that threshold, what's the difference?
That's interesting. I have a response, but to be honest, I actually want to hear what you're going to say first. Because if you guys don't know Barrett, like Barrett's actually way more into the tech of paddles, the nitty gritty of paddles. Like you're just more of a techie, not techie, but like you're actually way more versed in paddles than I am. So I want to hear, I'll say what I'm going to say, but I want to hear your answer first because I feel like it's going to be good.
Yes, you know, I think what I think about is I've gotten this a lot. You know, you've gotten this too, obviously, through your platform. But because people, family, and friends know we work in the pickleball industry, I'll often get a text that will say, hey, I'm wanting to buy my first paddle. Which one should I buy? And it's tough for me because I'm over here and I'm like, I feel a big difference. I play with a a more expensive paddle in comparison to the rest of, the beginner paddles. So it's tough because I'm like, to me, I think it's worth it I would never want to go back and play with that, So like, I always ask them, well, how many times a week do you think you're going to play? Or like, is this just going to be like a hobby, or like, do you love it? So I think when it comes to this, I think there's a massive difference in top paddles and bottom tier paddles. And this guy asked, like, do paddles make a difference? I think, especially at the higher level, especially at the pro level, 4.550, the amount of pace that people put on the ball and the ability to really come in and crush the third shot. Like a couple years ago, there wasn't as many people hitting hard and driving the ball because the paddle tech just didn't allow you to swing really hard and keep the ball in. But due to the dwell time and just the amount of power and spin you can put on the ball, it becomes a lot more important to have a higher technology paddle or a more advanced paddle, because like other shots, like your serve and return matter so much more in today's game than they did 2 years ago. Because you could have an okay serve and an okay return, and they can't really do much with that third ball. But in today's game, if you're playing at the high level, you really have to have that return land in the back half or the back third of the court, or else a higher level player is going to come up with that paddle and just crush the ball and cause you to pop it up or just hit too good of a ball. So having this tech makes it a lot easier and a lot more effortless to square the ball up and to take people's pace and give pace back or take pace off. So I think it makes a huge difference in today's game. If you would have asked me the same question maybe about a year and a half ago, I would say it makes a difference, but not that big of a difference. Today, I would say it makes a huge difference. And I would rather encourage my people. I wouldn't tell them to go buy the most expensive paddle, but I would probably tell my person, hey, spend $150 to $200. You don't have to spend over $200
if you're playing regularly.
Yeah. But I think it's much more worth it, or maybe, there's some great options like the SLK Halos, I think 140 or 130, right?
Yeah.
So there's some great options like there, but I think I would tell my buddy, hey, if you're going to play like once or twice a week, don't spend $100, spend $150 to $200, because there's a bigger ROI there. Now, if they're going to play like a couple times a year, like, yeah, go for it. But that's my 2 cents. What do you think?
No, I think you summed it up really well. I tend to agree with you. I think at a higher level, I think it matters a lot more. I think if you're just starting, you almost don't even know what kind of paddle you want, So, yeah, I agree though. I think when you start getting to more competitive play, higher level play, I do think your paddle matters a ton.
I'm really not, I don't know. I'm not trying to like plug, like, I feel like I'm doing a lot of like little ads. I'm really not trying to. I'm just, obviously I think highly of Selkirk. And, did you know that there's like paddle fitting experts? Like you can call Selkirk and they will put someone on the phone with you and they'll help you fit a paddle to like your needs and your play style. Do you know that?
I had no idea, but that's sick.
Yeah. So I think it's cool to be able to talk to somebody and get some information for them to know a little bit about you, because it can feel really overwhelming. I know the other day you and I went and bought tennis rackets because we were like, let's go hit the tennis ball. Like we don't have a tennis background, but let's go hit it.
Let's try it.
Or like while we're waiting on, the tennis courts are always empty, LOL. So while we're waiting to play pickleball, maybe we can bring our rackets and hit the tennis ball around. So I remember you and I went into Play It Again Sports to get a used tennis racket.
Had no idea.
And I was like, it feels very overwhelming. Like I don't know what I'm looking for in a tennis racket. Like, so I was like thinking to myself, like, I wonder how overwhelming it feels for pickleball players to find a paddle with all of the options that are out there. And I know that there's people that are listening to this podcast that you probably spent hours like looking at all of these different paddles and just getting sucked into
shapes.
Like what, you know,
Yeah.
so it does help to like talk to somebody. But yeah, I think it really does matter, especially if you're going to play, you know, once or twice a week. Like go ahead and spend the money, you know.
Spend the money.
You don't have to spend like $250 plus or anything like that, cuz like the top paddles are like over $250.
Pretty crazy.
You know, there's like paddles in the $280s and the $300s. I would never advise somebody to do that unless you're, you know, absolutely addicted and playing, you know, 4 times a week, you know, or maybe just the money doesn't matter to you. But yeah, that's what I would say. What do you think?
Oh, I agree.
Cool. But guys, I'm interested. Look, we're always interested for your feedback, not just, you know, from what we talk about in the podcast, but any other questions that you have or want us to answer on a future podcast, let us know in the comments below. And let us know, like, do you think like paddles make a difference tell us what level you are and tell us if you think the paddles make a difference at that level, because I'd be curious to see what people think based off of their level. But
sweet.
Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Pickleball Connection podcast.